Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I want to congratulate all the people that are nominated for these awards. You've all done outstanding work and you are to be commended. I'm going to present this afternoon on Gavin Long's case, the verdict he got in Cunningham versus Narconon, Red Cliffs, and also Bright Futures Recovery. And let me tell you, the theme of this case and what this case is about, it's about for-profit rehabilitation facilities being run by non-professionals and literally killing our family members, our loved ones, and our neighbors. That's what this case is about. So let me introduce you to John Cunningham before we get into the facts of the case. He was 58 years old at the time of his death. He was married for 25 years to the love of his life. They had 2 children together, 2 daughters, 18 and 20 years old. And he had a 35-year career at Boeing as a chief mechanic. So very responsible human being, even though he had to go to rehab. We'll talk about that in a minute. Responsible career, responsible family man. Back in 2010, he injured his back. And due to that back injury, he got addicted to Vicodin. His family never knew about it. Boeing, his employer, never knew about it. He kept it to himself. Finally, one day he realized he needs help. So he came clean to his family and said, look, I need help with this problem. They were shocked that he had the problem, but he wanted help. So the family started searching around for a rehabilitation facility to send him to. So they find a facility called Redwood Cliffs. However, unbeknownst to them, Redwood Cliffs was really Narconon Redwood Cliffs. Now, the dirty little secret here in this case is this was a Church of Scientology-based rehab program. Okay, and another dirty little secret of this case is Scientology has been cashing in on this for-profit business and using it as a recruiting tool for members of their church. Family had no idea when they were going to this facility to save their husband and their father. So Narconon promises, Redwood Cliffs, they promise a medical doctor on staff, one-on-one consultant, professional to help you daily. All of that untrue. No medical doctors on staff. No one-on-one professionals on staff to help you, none of that. They charge $37,500 to this family. So John hops on a plane, heading out to California to go to this rehab facility and detox and get his life back on track. Last time his family saw him was him getting on that airplane because he never came back. He gets into Narconon Red Cliffs and he's in really bad shape. So since there are no medical staff on duty, even though they were supposed to be, they have to send him down the road to their sister Narconon-based facility. And there's a little scam going on here because they have a doctor available by phone. No one on staff, but at least they can get somebody on the phone. Now, to go to the sister facility down the street, they charge an additional $5,000. So they've got this scam going back and forth. So the place down the street is called Bright Futures. It's run by a 25-year-old person, high school diploma, that's the extent of their education, and a Narconon student running a facility out of their residential home. Narconon, Redwood Cliffs, and Bright Futures are both in cahoots with each other, and they have a revolving door relationship. They charge you $37,500 up front. Then when they can't quite help you, even though they promise you everything, they send you down the street to the sistership. You get $5,000 charged there, and they go back and forth. So John gets to Bright Futures down the road. The doctor on the phone gives him a prescription to help him detox. No follow-up, nothing. For 5 days, he is in constant withdrawal, okay? Constant withdrawal for 5 days. He is literally being tortured, literally being tortured. He's supposed to be under 24-hour surveillance, though. None of that happened either. So 5 hours after being left alone, the 25-year-old Narconon student that runs the facility walks into his bedroom and finds him hanging in his closet dead by his own belt. Literally let him down. So that's the case. Gavin tried this case all by himself for a month up in Northern California. 5 defense lawyers on one side, all against Gavin. He did all the work, all the trial, all the law in motion, all the depositions, all the discovery. Literally David versus Goliath. Gavin called 19 witnesses at trial, 19. All of the defense witnesses, all of the defense experts, all under 776. He used their entire case in chief in his. They only had one witness left to call by the time he got done with his case in chief. This case is the largest verdict in the state of California against a rehabilitation facility involving a suicide. And Gavin did such a great job at showing how dirty they were. There was only 15% comparative fault against John Cunningham for hanging himself, only 15%. The defendants made a motion for new trial for the excessive verdict because it was the largest in the state. And they gave some statistics to the judge, and they told the judge that Mr. Long had a 1 in 368% or odds of getting this kind of a verdict, 1 in 368, and he got it. The motion was denied, and the case settled. Now, some of the obstacles that he faced in this case, obviously personal responsibility and addiction issues. Someone kills himself and they have addiction issues. That's a big obstacle to overcome. He did it, only 15% comparative. Very tough case. Most people would have lost this case. The impact, and this is important, it's one of the criteria. The impact in this case, Redwood Cliffs no longer follows the Narconon approach. No longer. No one will ever go to this facility and have a husband, a wife, a child, a neighbor, a loved one die. Won't happen again. All the facilities in the area heard about the verdict and they know what's going on over there. So they are no longer following the Narconon approach. Now, big picture down the road in the future, when we have COC's ledge meeting in November at convention, however that goes down, I want to propose legislation because the regulations governing these facilities are too watered down and they're not enforced. This case is the poster child for us to go around the Capitol and get people on board to issue stricter regulations to save our loved ones, save our family members, and to have better enforcement. So with that, I would encourage you to give this case due consideration.